Ronaldinho Gaucho, the kid who grew up poor in the favelas of Brazil to being one of the best players the beautiful game has ever seen, to then being locked up behind bars. This is the tragic and beautiful story of his life. Born and raised in one of the most dangerous parts of Porto Alegre, Brazil, Ronaldinho had a rough start to his life. Due to his big brother being an aspiring football player and signed a contract with a local club, Grêmio, their family could move to a safer part of the city. Right when Ronaldinho's life took a turn for the better, disaster struck his family. When Ronaldinho was only 8, his father João died after hitting his head and drowning in the swimming pool. His brother Roberto, 9 years older than Ronaldinho but still a teenager, quit his football career to take care of his family. This allowed Ronaldinho to fully focus on his football career. Ronaldinho followed his brother's footsteps and signed his first contract with Grêmio. He made his professional debut a few weeks later at the age of 17. The following year, he recorded a stunning 58 goals and 20 assists in 121 games. All the big European clubs was interested, but PSG picked the longest straw. He signed a 5-year contract worth €5 million. He had a great first season for PSG, but the manager at the time, Luis Fernandes, complained about Ronaldinho's lack of commitment. It wasn't a secret that Ronaldinho loved to party and he often spent the nights before training and matches in a club. This made his relationship with the manager even worse. Quoting Luis Fernandes, "I tried everything. I remember that the security people told me every morning about last night when they saw Dinho partying in the clubs." After a rocky relationship with the manager, Ronaldinho wanted out. Next stop was Barcelona. The Catalonian club landed Ronaldinho for a staggering €32.5 million. At Barcelona, his career took off. Having won his first La Liga title and FIFA World Player of the Year award in his second season, it was the 2005-06 campaign that found Ronaldinho in his prime. That year, in which he recorded a career-best 26 goals, Ronaldinho established himself as the best player of the world. He won La Liga, Champions League, and even Real Madrid fans applauded him during an El Clasico. On top of that, Ronaldinho received the Ballon d'Or and UEFA Club Footballer of the Year after leading Barca to their first UEFA Champions League title in 14 years. Even though he was great on the field, he still struggled on his relationship with alcohol, and he was often spotted going out to the clubs. That same year, he started in all 5 of Brazil's 2006 World Cup matches. Although the team failed to make much of an impact, as Brazil were eliminated by France in the quarterfinal. The next season at Barcelona, he produced similar numbers, but his stint at Barcelona will go on a decline. Ronaldinho barely played in an injury-marred final year at the club, but Dinho left the club with no hard feelings. Up next for the Brazilian icon was a move to the Italian powerhouse AC Milan, but it was not as successful as his tenure with Barca. Ronaldinho wanted to continue his partying in Italy and even got the contract re-signed, so he was allowed to enjoy the nightlife that Italy offered. After a rather lackluster first season with Milan, Dinho got back to his best in the 2009-2010 season, being the top assist provider in the Serie A, although he left the club halfway through the following season, in which Milan ended up winning the title. Ronaldinho made the move back to Brazil and joined Flamengo. This was a controversial move. Many fans expected him to come back to his childhood club. From here on out, his career consisted of another 3 club transfers, and it was a result of lack of commitment. Even though he had a few years left of his prime, he never really reached his full potential. Ronaldinho's career ended in 2015 at the Brazilian club Fluminense. Ronaldinho can look back at an amazing career, but his time in the spotlight doesn't stop here. Ronaldinho's story took a turn for the worse. In July 2019, 57 properties belonging to Ronaldinho, along with his Brazilian and Spanish passports, were confiscated because of unpaid taxes and fines. The judge ultimately decided to reduce the fine from $8.5 million to $6 million. Ronaldinho and his brother would ultimately fail to pay the fines within the allotted time and have their passports suspended. His legal troubles doesn't stop here. In March 2020, he was questioned by the police in Paraguay after he was allegedly trying to enter the country with fake passports. Ronaldinho and his brother were both being held in custody in the country. He attempted to appeal the detention order but was ordered to remain under house arrest with his brother. On 24th of August 2020, were released from Paraguayan prison after a judge agreed to a plea deal with fines of $90,000. Even though he has avoided trouble with the law the last 3 years, his friends has reported that he is still a heavy drinker. In an interview with the Brazilian newspaper Extra, his friend said, "Every day is a party for Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho starts drinking in the morning and only stops drinking the next morning." It is not something of late, but we know that it became more intense after his mother's death. Ronaldinho's fall from grace has been a shock to many of his fans. He was once considered a hero in Brazil and was admired by millions around the world. However, his behavior off the pitch has brought his legacy into question. Despite his personal struggles, Ronaldinho's impact on the beautiful game cannot be denied. He inspired a generation of young players with his incredible skills and helped Brazil win the World Cup in 2002. His legacy will live on through the amazing moments he created.